All right, you guys, it is straight up 6:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started because I've got a lot to cover with you guys, and I'm going to do the very best that I can do to make sure that you've got everything you need so that you can really understand how the system works and how to go about making apps through this system. So we've got about 13 people in here right now, and I want to say hi to Julie, to Nancy, to Chrissy, Adam, Sylvie. Hopefully I'm not saying anybody's name wrong. John, Mike, all of you guys, hello, hello, hello. I see you in chat, and I will warn you that I've got so much to show you. I'll try to bounce into chat every once in a while to kind of see the questions that you guys are asking, but but I will, I can't do it real often because I really am going to try to fly through stuff to make sure that I cover as much as possible. I'm going to try to keep it to an hour, but honestly, I'm a talker, so I'm just warning you ahead of time. And Nancy, we are going to do this in BuilderAll, and Adam, you're not going to be clueless after this. Hello, Diane. Hi, Anita. Satya, hopefully I said that right. Romaine, all of you guys, I just welcome you with open arms. I'm so glad you're here. And here's the thing, I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm not going to promote anything. I'm not going to try to steal you away from anybody. If you're already a BuilderAll member and you're under someone, that's okay. I just love teaching, and I'm so glad that I get to teach you. If you're not an official BuilderAll member yet, and you need to be under someone, I would love to have you. And my link is right there if you're not a member yet and you're not real sure if you want to proceed with it. I would love to have you under me, but I don't want to steal you from anyone. So make sure you understand the only way that I want you to come under me is if you're not currently under someone else. I just want to make that clear because I'm just really excited that you guys are all here and you're all going to be able to learn how to use that mobile application creator because it is some really cool stuff. So let me turn on my camera and you can see me because that's actually not a picture of me. So you should see it in just a second. I'll stop the screen sharing. There we go. There's me. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself before I get started. I'm actually 51 years old. I just turned 51 4 days ago. So I'm on the backside of a century, which is really excited. I'm really excited about being on the backside of a century. That's pretty cool. And I've got 4 grown children. I've got 3 grandchildren. And I work with BuilderAll, and I already love it. It's got so many neat features. And Sylvie has asked, is it a webinar done with the BuilderAll tool? This webinar is actually being done with Webinar Jam. That's what I typically use when I do my webinars. And what's cool about it is I'm going to be doing some more webinars. I'll be doing a webinar on the Facebook inbox feature, and that's actually one of my favorite tools. It's kind of really cool, and I'll be doing that tomorrow night. And that's a quick one. It won't take very long to do it. And then on Thursday night, I'll be doing a quick webinar on how to use Mailboss, how to get it set up. And it'll just be a basic one. It's not going to go through too many deep things, but I'll definitely teach you how to get your things set up in the initial part of it, and then get you working on your email campaigns, because that's actually the hardest part, is the email campaign. So we'll work on getting it set up first, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about how to do email campaigns. But the cool thing is, since you signed up for this webinar, it should automatically send you notifications of the webinars coming up. So you should get an automated notification for the Tuesday webinar and the Thursday webinar. So just come on and have fun, and we'll cover some neat stuff. And there, as always, there are replays. So if you're not able to attend, you should get an email after the webinar that has a link that you can go to the replay and actually get the replay. So my hope is that everybody's able to access the webinar, whether you can attend or not, and whether you're in the United States or somewhere else. I actually happen to be in Mississippi. But I am a huge computer nerd, and I love learning new things, and BuilderAll has a whole bunch of new things that I can learn. So super excited about it, and I can't wait to get into the nitty-gritty. So let's start talking about BuilderAll and about building mobile apps. So there's a couple of things that I want to make sure to cover with you before we actually get into the builder. And that is that you're going to need a developer account for Apple, for Google Play, and for even Amazon. So why do I say Amazon? I'll clear that up in a minute. But for Apple, you just go to developer.apple.com and you're going to sign up. But make sure when you sign up that you don't sign up as an individual, you sign up as an organization. And to do that, you're going to need a few things like a Dun & Bradstreet number, and you're going to need some information on your LLC for your company. So make sure you get that done, and that's going to take about 2 weeks to do. The Dun & Bradstreet number you'll get right away, but all the LLC stuff that you need to do takes a little while. So all of that you need to have done to sign up as an organization in Apple to be a developer. And then once you get that developer account, once they approve you, it costs you $99 per year for Apple. Okay, so you're going to be spending $99 to become a developer with Apple. And then once you actually become a developer with Apple, you'll set yourself up with iTunes Connect, and iTunes Connect is where you're going to manage all your apps. Okay, so that's one step you need to do to become a developer with Apple, and then you start developing your apps. And then Google Play is the same thing. I think it's actually developer.google.com, and you put in there that you want to be a developer for apps and Android apps, of course, because that's where the Android store is on Google Play. And you're going to go through a sign-up process for that system, that platform. I don't think you need your EIN, tax ID. You don't have to have a Dun & Bradstreet number with Google Play. It's a lot easier to set up, and it's a one-time fee of $25. So once you get set up with Google Play and you pay your $25, you're ready to start publishing to Android. So that's how you get the iPhone platform as a developer and how you get the Google Play platform as a developer. And then the next step, this is a step that is pretty cool. You can go to Amazon and you can actually get a developer account with Amazon. And when you go through and do a developer account with Amazon, you actually are publishing your Android apps. You can publish them right onto Amazon. And that one actually is free. And I think it's developer.amazon.com. I can't remember for sure. But it's easy to do, no worries. Nancy actually is one of my students from a class that I teach, and she's actually registered for the Amazon account, and it is super easy to do. You can be registered and ready to go. Doesn't cost anything, and you can start publishing your Android apps. Now, when you finish your app, we're kind of going backwards here, but I want you guys to know all the expenses that are involved. When you finish your app, you're going to get something called an APK file. A is in apple, P is in pumpkin, K is in kite, APK file. And those APK files are what you're going to upload to the Apple developer site, the Google Play developer site, and the Android developer site. So what are we looking at for cost-wise getting set up as a developer? $99 once a year for Apple, $25 one-time fee for Google Play, and nothing for Amazon. It's a free account. You can publish as many as you want. Okay? So everybody got that so far? Yes? Can I get some yeses in chat so you know? Adam says Android for the win. I will tell you guys this. When you're publishing, Kindle is a breeze. You can get a Kindle app, Android app approved in a couple days. It is so easy, and it's actually really fun. That's probably the first place you should publish. And then Google Play can take a week to 2 weeks, depending on how busy they are. But that can take a little bit longer, and you'll go crazy waiting for it to be approved. But they get it. It's a relatively small amount of time to get it approved for Google Play. But iPhone is the booger. It is hard to get it approved now. When I first started, they just flew through. If you had an app and you submitted it, you were going to get it approved. But now they're really, really picky. They actually don't like one account doing apps for other businesses. So when you submit, sometimes you have to really appeal if you're creating an app for a different business, you have to appeal to them and say, hey, I'm a company and I'm building for this company, and we're using a app builder to make it easy for them so that we don't have to keep submitting changes. So I have, if you guys need extra help with that, let me know, because I've got a little thing you can submit to app that kind of helps you appeal it if they reject it. But Apple is a lot harder, and don't tell anybody that you're going to get an Apple app approved in a good amount of time. I tell all of my clients that to get an Apple app approved takes 4 to 6 weeks. If it happens sooner, you're going to be a rock star. If it happens, within 4 to 6 weeks, well, then it was true to your word. But I always tell my students when I'm teaching them how to build apps, always under promise and over deliver. So when I go to publish all 3 versions, the Apple, the Google Play, and the Amazon, I always say it will take 4 to 6 weeks to get the apps published. Well, Amazon comes up in first, so I call them within a couple days and go, hey, your Amazon app is up. And they're like, wow, that was fast. I was expecting 4 to 6 weeks. Then I call them and say, hey, your Google Play app is up, and that usually happens within a week to 2 weeks. And they're like, wow, that was really fast. And then it's usually the Apple app that we're just kind of struggling to get it approved. And then again, if you're dealing with rejection, you got to fix it and send it back up again. So it can be a pain in the booty, but I don't know what business doesn't have a few growing pains and pains in general. So Apple is the hardest one for sure. And there are tips and tricks, and I've actually kind of navigated through those. So keep me in your speed dial so you can call me about it. And I've got someone that says, is it a must to publish on both, or would a customer be okay with Android? Hey, you can just publish on Android. That just means that if they're like a business and they're wanting to do an app for their customers, they would definitely want it on iPhone and Android. But if it's just a whimsical funsy type thing, you can actually just put it on Android. It's really up to you. You don't have to publish to Apple at all. It's just kind of what you want to do. And for me, I do business to business. So I'm making apps for businesses. And I want to make sure that when I make an app for them, that all of their customers can access it, whether they're accessing through an iPhone, iPad, Android device, or even Kindle. So that's the way I operate, but you guys can decide what you want to do for sure, because it's your business and you're the boss. That's the cool thing. All right, so now we're going to jump into the BuilderAll app builder, and I'll show you exactly where it's at. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and hopefully you guys can see everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to share my entire screen, and there we go. And here's where I am in BuilderAll. And you can see that there's a lot of builders listed in here at the very top. There's the drag and drop site builder, way too cool. And we've got the app creator, and then responsive site and blog builder. So what we're going to do is go into the app creator. And when I click that, it's going to take me into this screen right here. And as you can see, I've already done a test app. I've kind of played in this account. I have the exact same app builder in a different place. So this one is actually my play place. So what you're going to see is a test app, but it's super simple to start a new application. All I do is click Create New Application, and a screen pops up and it says application name. So I'm going to say BuilderAll Training. And that is the name of my new application, and then I'm going to click Create. And when I do that, it's going to take me into a screen where I can start editing my app. And it says I can import some features from Facebook if I want to. I don't do that. I don't need to do that because I'm not going to import any of my Facebook information in there if I'm making this for someone else. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this step. And now that takes me to the templates that are available. And there's lots and lots of really nice templates. So it's really up to you what template you want to use. So if you just kind of scroll down and take a look, and you can hover over them to kind of see what they look like. I think all of them are actually really nice. So it's really up to you what you choose. You can change any of this. So this is not written in stone. If you pick something and you don't like it, you can change it at any point. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and start with green energy. I like that one. So I'm going to click that one. And it says, hey, if you do this, everything's going to be changed. That's important to remember, because if you decide to change this template after you've put pictures in there and change colors and stuff, it's going to revert everything back to the original. So make sure that you understand this, because if you've gone and made a lot of changes and then you choose a different template, you will have lost all of it. So just warning you ahead of time. So click OK, and it goes through the steps of pulling in that template and getting all the pages ready. So now we've got that template set up, and I can choose to change it at any time by just clicking that little button right there, and it will actually change the template. Now I want you to notice on the left side, I've got a really neat set of things that I'll need to do for this app, and it tells me right in order what I need to do. So right now I'm in the editor. It wants me to design it first, then look at the colors, the features, the application, like the application store, and then actual publication. And then it's got some neat stuff for promoting your app. It's got awesome analytics. It's got users. You can actually open this up for users to come in and see it. And then also there's some settings that you can do. So we're going to stay right here in the editor right now, and we're going to work with design, and I'm going to go through each of these little steps in design mode. So the next thing I want to show you is the change your layout. This is actually pretty cool. When you click this button, you'll see that there's tons of layouts. And this layout is really important because you're going to be choosing a picture to put on that background. And if you want things to show on that picture, you're going to choose a layout that enables you to show that picture. If you choose this one, this layout right here, you're going to find out that it covers your picture. If you choose this layout right here, it's probably going to cover your picture. So honestly, my favorite layout of all the layouts, let me find it, is right here. This is my favorite one. It's the nicest one, cleanest one, easiest one for me to use, and I can manipulate quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that one. And what I did is clicked it, and it's thinking real hard, and now it's going to put that menu right in here so I can see it. So that's what that menu looks like. Okay. Now remember, later on I can go into the colors and I can change the colors of that menu. So don't stress about the colors. Just make sure you're focusing on the design. Okay. And then the layout options. Each layout is going to have a different set of options. So one of the things I can do is display a home page slider. What this is going to do is give me some pictures like right about here that actually can slide across the screen. So if I want to display that, I just check yes. And then it will actually allow me to go in and add some pictures. But the one thing this does is every time you choose something like that, it reloads your screen. So it gets kind of irritating, but it is what it is. And then if you want the shadow to show, you can actually choose shadow. And there's that shadow right there, or you can choose to not show it. So you do the down button and do hidden. All of these things are things that you need to play with in the system to see how it looks to you. And then you can decide if you want to keep it or not. Make sure when you're choosing these layout options that whatever you set them, save as your friend. It's easy to move on to the next thing and you forget to save. And if you forget to save, it's bad because you'll lose it. So the homepage slider options, I can choose to have it loop over the images. If I click yes, it will actually just kind of scroll over the image. Or I can choose it to not do that. I can do a slideshow duration. So for each image that shows, it shows for 3 seconds. And I can choose the image height. I can make it 30% the height or 100% of the height. All of those things are things you can play with. And then right here for the home page slider is where you'll add your pictures. So right here, I just click on it and I can choose something from, I don't know, let's see if I can find a graphic. I've got too many files, but, oh, here we go. We'll choose this one. And it kind of helps you to understand how you crop it, and then click OK. And shazam, we now have a picture in there. And I want you to notice that where it says image height and slideshow duration, you can manipulate those to kind of change the position of that picture on the screen. And then you can actually add another picture. So let's do this one. and click OK. Now I've got 2 pictures in there, and if you'll watch it, every 3 seconds it'll slide the picture. And if I do loop, we should get a loop feature where it loops the pictures. So 3 seconds, so 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and it should go to the next one, and then 3 seconds later it should go to the next one. And it's kind of a cool feature. I use this feature in a Mid-South Ren Fair app that I did, and it was a really cool thing because it would scroll and show like the jousting and show the queen and show people in all their costumes and stuff. So it was a really neat feature to put in. All right, so that's the homepage slider. Remember, if you don't want it enabled and you don't want to display it, you want the picture in the background to show, then all you do is click or uncheck display homepage slider, and it's going to reload the screen, and now the homepage slider should be gone. So there you go. Down here is the next big step. This is huge, is choose your homepage image. This is the image that's going to appear. So as you see, you can see the green energy. And the way I do it is I always start with the biggest picture first. So in this list, the biggest picture is going to be the 1536 by 2048. So I will develop a picture in GIMP. That's the software I use. And I'll create the largest one first. And then from the largest one, I'll start scaling down to the next size and save that size. And then I'll scale down to the next size and save that size. But to me, the hardest part is the graphics and these images, because you want to make sure that you are getting everything in that picture that you want to get in that picture for that customer, for that client. And you may have to go through a few iterations of trying this before you get it exactly right, because it is a challenge. And it'll be funny because you'll put it in and you'll be like, darn it, it's just a little bit off center. So you'll move a little element of it and try it again, and then you'll move a little element of it and try it again. So this to me is the biggest challenge, is getting that home page background screen exactly the way you want it, especially if you use a different kind of like menu, your layout option. This layout option makes it easy. If you choose another layout option, it makes it a little bit harder. Then you've got some questions to answer. You can say use background in all your application pages. For me, I always use this background just in the home page, and that's it. But if you want it for every page, you can check mark that. You can hide the iOS status bar. If you see up here, it tells you how many bars you have in the carrier. If you're on Wi-Fi, it tells you your battery charge and the time. You can actually check mark that, and it will take that off. And there's 2 of those options. You can hide it for iOS, and you can hide it for Android. So you can check those, and that bar will disappear. Okay. Then the next thing you need to do is choose what country you're in, because this is what enables your dollars, what type of money unit you're using. So for me, it would be United States. And then the last step on this page is to actually choose your font. It comes with several different fonts. Arial is fine with me. I've never had a problem with it. So Arial is what I would choose. So that's designing the first page, the home page, choosing the template, and choosing the layout. Okay. So the next step after that is to go to colors. And this one is a doozy for sure, because it's got a lot of choices in here, and honest to goodness, you're just going to have to play with it to see how to work with all the different things, because there's so many. Let me scroll down. I just won't keep it hidden from you. Let me scroll down. Here is all the settings that you have. Okay. So with all these settings, you know that you're going to have to play with it and play with colors and see if they match your pictures and stuff like that. So before I go on with colors, I'm going to jump into Webinar Jam and stop screen sharing for just a minute to make sure that I've got all questions answered. So let's see. Let's see. Good part is you can make another one and save the first one. Yes. Oh my gosh, you can make as many as you want in this. Can we use a car loan calculator in the app, or are we stuck with the options on the screen? I'm going to cover that in a minute, Adam. There's like a ton of options, and I'll show that when we get to the features. And then Nancy says, I think there's a loan applicator. There are lots of useful pages. Yes, for sure. Nancy, great point. There are a ton of useful pages. Okay, so I think that catches me up on the questions right now. So I'm going to share my screen again and we'll jump into colors. Okay, great. So now let me go to a page, like say, oh, that's products. Oh, here we are. Here's a bunch of pages. Oh my gosh. So we'll go to the videos page. I don't think there's anything on it. But in here we've got a header and the colors that are on the header. So let's see if that header is that header, and we'll see if we can change the color. So let's pick a wacky color. How about red? Woohoo. Kind of a pinky red. That's cool. Awesome. And the border, we'll make it a yellow because that's the way we roll. Great. And the background, let's see what the background we can do. About a green. All right, so now you can see that I've changed those colors, and that's for just the header. Okay, so you can imagine how many settings we have, because on some pages there's going to be footers, there's going to be buttons, there's going to be titles, there's going to be the card, which is like when you have a square space and you've got text in there, the background for the card. There's just so many things, and you really do truly have to play with it a little while to understand where everything is at and what you're affecting. Unfortunately, in an hour, I definitely can't cover that. So, but I do have actually more training that I'll end up doing. So no worries, I'll do some more training on the mobile app builder. So colors, you know, is going to be a big deal, and you're going to have to play with it before you see how you can really manipulate the colors. And now let's go into the next step, which is features. And features are actually all the pages that you're going to have in your application, okay? So there are a ton of page choices. You can have an audio page, a booking, calendar, catalog. You can do a code scan. You can do e-commerce, contact contest, a custom page, discount, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just crazy what all you can do. And you can also do a source code. So if you have some like JavaScript or something like that, you can actually do all that. So there's just so many different pages that you can use, and it's almost limitless what you can do. But if you want to look up here, these are the pages that I currently have already in the app. And you can see that by here's a page, here's a page, here's a page, here's a page. When I click the 3 dots, it shows me all the other pages. So all of these pages are actually kind of in that menu already, so I can see all of them. So let's go ahead and go to one of the pages. If I want to see one of the pages that I have in my app, we already know how to get to the home page because that's that design area. So let's look at the company page. That's that first button on the menu. And every single page is going to have feature settings or page settings. And they're all going to be different. They're not all going to be the same. So when you start to work with these, you just kind of have to look very carefully at the feature settings and what are all available. So in this section, we have the ability to add a text area, image area, video, address, button, attachment, a slider, and even a cover. So right now I've got 2 items added. I've got an image added, and I've never liked that image because it gives you a lot of blank space, and I just don't like it. So I don't ever use that. So I'm going to delete it. But I do have another one that's a text area, and I want you to notice here that I have a dynamic toolbar. So I can actually manipulate what that text looks like, including formatting it. I can choose to make it a header. I can make it a regular paragraph. I can do address. I can just do normal. There's a lot of things I can do with just formatting the text. I can also change the size of the text, and I can choose to make it bold, italic, or underline. So then you can start to see how I can manipulate that area right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do, I haven't got anything really exciting in here, but we'll pretend like it's like the most important information of your life. So we'll make this a header 1, makes it really big. We'll do this one as just plain old, let's see, we'll do, oh, my mouse is being ugly. So let's do this one. This one we'll do just as bold. So you can see that it's bolded. And I'll put some new text in there. And I'll go to size and I'll make it, let's make it 18 and italic. How's that sound? So now that I've made all those changes, let's do a save. And again, it's going to reload the page and reload everything on your screen. So now you can kind of see what I did and what it looks like on the screen. Obviously, we wouldn't leave that text as a heading 1 because that's way too big, but you kind of see how it all works. And you can also, if you don't like it, you can just double click or triple click and go to remove formatting, and it will remove that formatting. You can go back and start again. But here's the feature that I like on the text. You can actually choose right here to add an image. So when I click that, it says add picture, and I'll just choose BuilderAll, and I can choose to left align or right align. I can choose it as a small, medium, or large. I'll keep it small, and then I'm going to click save. And now you can see that it's added the picture, and it does a lot better job of dealing with that picture on the screen than actually grabbing the image box right here. So I actually like adding the images that I want inside the text box of all things. But that's just a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. All right, so now we've got an address box that's in here. So I can add my address, and I will say find us, and I'll just keep it at that. That looks great. And if I want to display the address, I can check mark that, and then I can actually do a display the location button as well, and I'll click save on that. All right, and what I'm going to do is delete this first box because that way I won't have to keep scrolling down to see the new stuff we're adding. Let's see if it'll let me. It's not being nice. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now you see that the address box is the first thing. So I check marked to display the address, and there it is right there. And I also check marked it to do a location button. There it is right there. So when your user on their phone clicks this locate button, it will actually pull up a map and locate you and actually give them turn-by-turn directions if they want it. And then another button is the well, another thing you can add is a button. And when you add that button, you can choose it to be a phone button, just a link button, or even an email button. If you choose phone, it's going to ask you for a label and your phone number. If you choose link, it's going to ask you for a label and the link. And then you can choose to hide the navigation bar or even use an external app. And then email is going to let you do a label and then the email. So lots of neat features in that. So as you can see, just play with those buttons. There's a lot of great stuff. I never use the image one. I don't like it. But each section, you can make a text section, image, video, address, a button section, which on the button, it can be a phone button, link button, or email button. You can do an attachment that when they click it, it opens in their app. And then you can do a slider, which is a lot like the picture slider we saw, and then a cover. So lots of neat stuff there. So that is the company page. Now let's say that I didn't want that company page, that I wanted to get rid of it because I didn't like it. I wanted to do something else. Well, that is really easy. All I do is click the X right there, and it will say, do you want to delete this page? And once you delete it, it's gone. So don't do this willy-nilly because you won't get it back. But just click OK, and it will actually delete it. And now on our menu, you'll see the next time we load it that company thing will not be there anymore. Okay, so you can see that we've got a lot of pages here. I can choose to delete them, and each time I do, I get a, are you sure, are you sure, are you sure, and every time I just click OK, and it's all good. It will disappear. Okay. And if you can't see all of your pages, just click those little arrows and it'll show you more pages. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is adding a page that you want to add to your app. So let's say that you wanted to do a booking page where they could actually schedule a time to meet with you. If you click that booking page, it will actually pull up the booking page features. So here you go, the feature settings, which means the page settings. And here you've got the page name. It's activated, meaning that it is on the menu. And you can choose to add a location and email. You can change the background. And again, all this is playing with the system and seeing how it works. Okay? So that's a booking page. Very simple to do. If you want to add a tip calculator, this one's really cool. So if you want to add a tip calculator, just click on tip calculator in that list of pages and go to the feature settings, which are the page settings. And here's where you put the page name. You click it as activated, which means it's active inside your app. And this feature allows your users to calculate tips with their app. You can change the background by just clicking on that and adding the picture that you want to use as the background. And then it actually will do the work for you. So it will allow you to put in the amount of the bill and the percentage of the tip and the number of people. And when you hit calculate, it will tell you that you need to tip $20 on a $100 bill to make it 20%. So that's a really neat feature, and I've put those in restaurant apps to help the people that are using the restaurant app figure out what their tip needs to be. Okay, so now that you've seen the features, and again, you really have to play with this a lot because there are a lot of page types, and each page type has their own feature settings or page settings. So it's really important that you play with every single one and learn what they can do, and then look at them inside the app, the example app, the sample app, so you can see exactly how they work. Okay, so that's the features. So let's go ahead and jump into the application, because that would be the next step. Once you get all the pages that you want in there and they're set up the way you want, you're going to go to application. And on this page, you're going to set up the icon that actually appears. So if you look right there, that's the icon. And you guys know this, when you look at your iPhone or your Android device, there's a bunch of little icons. You're going to have to make those for your app. And I've got a great resource that's called Icon Slayer. Write this down, Icon Slayer. It is where you can, if you've got the square graphic for your app, you can actually use it to make all the icons you need for iPhone and Android and Kindle. So if you want that link, just ask me and I will send it to you. Write it down though. Don't forget Icon Slayer. And send me a message that says, hey Shelly, I need Icon Slayer, and I'll send you that link. And then you've got the ability to do Android push, which means push notifications. And if you guys have ever had a push notification, it's when you get like an automated message from an app. And you can actually set it up in the system so that you can do push notifications. So if you want to set it up, you can. In this particular area, this is where you're going to set up the little icon that shows up when you do send a push notification. So you upload the icon, you can actually do an image, and then you can even choose the color of the background of the icon. So all of that you kind of set up, and it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. And then the next step is what I call the splash screen. In this particular app builder, it's called the startup image. But when you load your app for the first time, it usually comes up with a splash screen that just kind of hides everything while it's loading, and it's just a picture that shows up. And you'll need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, because you need that many for the different versions that are out there. So again, I start with the biggest one, which in this case is the 1536 by 2048. I make that first and get it the way I want it. And then I use that image to scale down to the next size down. The problem is if you start with the smaller one, which is the 640 by 960, and then you scale it up, you're going to lose resolution. So if you use a graphics program like Photoshop or a free one like GIMP, G-I-M-P, you want to start with the bigger image first and scale down. But you'll need to make all 5 of these versions because you'll need them to upload to your developer accounts for Apple and for Google Play and for Amazon. Okay? So, and that's a challenge, and I can actually do a class that's all about just getting these images ready, because that class alone actually is pretty involved if you're not familiar with how to do graphics. Okay, so now we're going to pretend that you got your Android push stuff in there, you got your icon made, you got your startup images done in GIMP. If you guys don't know what that is, message me and ask me about GIMP, G-I-M-P, and I will send you a link to get a free graphics builder called GIMP. Okay, it is great. I use it. It is wonderful. It's like Photoshop Lite. It's lovely and does the job. Okay, so we've finished. We're pretending like we finished the application section. Now we're going to go to publication. This is the fun part. So on publication, we need to fill out some information. So you need to come up with your application name. You need to come up with your bundle ID. And to get that, I think where was the bundle ID? I can't remember where the bundle ID is. I think it gives you information on how to get that. Or maybe not. You need to come up with your package name and then your wherever your privacy policy URL is. When you publish, you're going to have a privacy policy. That's really important to have. So thank goodness you guys have got BuilderAll, because you can build a privacy policy page really, really easy and fast in BuilderAll. And then you can actually monetize your app. And by monetizing, that means you can add advertising to it so that they can, when users are using your app, little advertisements will show. Usually in the bottom, you can do a banner advertisement, but you can also do interstitial, which means it covers the whole screen. You can do both banner and interstitial, whatever you want to do. I always do banner because that's the least intrusive. But using a company called AdMob, you actually join AdMob for free. You get your information from AdMob added in here, and then when your app publishes, you'll have advertising on the bottom. If they click that advertising and follow it and then make a purchase, you actually make money. So that's a great way to make money. Okay, so now we've got the publication, and now we go to ready to publish my app. So we click that. And it says you're almost done. You have to put in the information. So I've got all my information in there. I click save, and payment option is web payment. So I'll click save. You don't have to pay anything for this. And then let's see. And then I'll go back into my area and publish. Hopefully it saved it all. There we go. I'm going to click save, payment option, web publishing. There we go. Now I've got my information that I need. It costs $0. And you have to go through this every time, okay? You're going to put your information in there, the billing information. Even though they're not charging you, you have to put that in there. And then you have to tick web publishing, which is free. And remember that you have to tick that. That's what I was doing wrong a minute ago, was I wasn't ticking that. It'll tell you $0. You confirm it by doing validate. Now we've validated that app, and it says that it's been successfully paid. So I'm going to click here to go back to my applications. So here's my BuilderAll training that we've built together, and I'm going to go back to edit. And from there, I can go back to that publication area in my editor. And you can see that I'm actually ready to publish. So that's really, really cool. Very easy to do. And now let's go to promote, because I want to tell you about that area. So here we've got the store's URL. So once you actually do publish and you're ready to send it out, you're going to get a link to the iOS store and you're going to get a link to the Android store. You're going to put that in there. You're going to do save. And then you can actually use this QR code to actually scan it. And it's going to take you to where you can actually see that app and view it before you actually publish. This is really cool because you want your customers to see the app and see it before you publish it. So this gives them a chance to see it as you're building it. Analytics is another really cool feature. Once you publish, it will give you incredible information on how many people have visited your site, how many people have installed, how many iOS installs, how many Android installs, where are they installing from, how much time do they spend in your app. This is like really important because when you build an app for a customer, you need to be able to go in there and say, hey, look, they're only spending 20 to 40 seconds on your app. We need to add something that's going to add engagement so they'll stay longer inside your app. Whether that's adding the Facebook page in, whether that's adding a little game in, whether it's adding the tip calculator in, something to keep them in that app a little bit longer so that you've got customer engagement a little bit better. You can also see what they visit as far as pages or features. Remember here, it calls pages features. But you can see that in this example, the m-commerce page is visited the most. And then it also does it in chart form. So that is really cool analytics. And then feature analytics is when you can get even down and dirty even more with like total sales, total visits, average cart amount, and even more. So it's just amazing what you can do. If you add a discount page, it'll keep track of that. If you add the loyalty card, which is like a punch type card, it'll keep track of that. It's absolutely insane what it keeps track of. And then the users. You can actually set up users to be able to access your builder. And all you do is click add. And when you click add, it will allow you to add them and you put in their email and their password and they can actually access this builder and help you build it. So if you've got a team that's building with you, you can actually make sure that they have access to certain builders. So I'm going to go ahead and put a name. I'll put my daughter's name. There we go. And the password is a secret. And you want to make sure that they have access to the ranking and they have access to pages that are locked. If you don't allow this, they won't be able to access the locked area. So you click save. And now they actually have access to this app, which is really incredible. You can edit by just clicking that little edit button. You can go back in there and edit their information. So that's incredible that you can actually set them up to be able to access this app and help you build. Then the next step is settings. You've got terms and conditions, APIs, domain, advanced, and messages. Terms and conditions, you're going to need those pages, and it allows you to build that right inside with the dynamic toolbar, which is really cool. Also, if you're setting up rules for your discount page, if you add in a discount page, there's where you can set up the rules with the dynamic toolbar. Loyalty card, like a punch card, like you come in 5 times to the restaurant, we'll give you a free tea. So you can set up the terms right here, dynamic toolbar. So lots of neat stuff in there. APIs, if you haven't worked with APIs before, these are really cool. It's got Facebook API settings, Twitter API settings, Instagram, and Flickr. So you've got the ability to start manipulating things with your API keys. And then domain. So in this area, we can actually specify a domain name for the mobile website information. You can actually build a mobile website with this. And then you've got some advanced features, and these are going to be some advanced features that really are advanced. Let me get to the site and I'll tell you exactly what they are. So do you want to enable offline content? You can actually click that. You can do JavaScript for Google Maps, and you can do fidelity points. I've not done fidelity points, so that's one that I probably need to learn so I can teach you guys how to do. And then for messages, this area allows you to create messages for your users, or for your users that are going in to help you build. So if you've got an issue that they need to know about, you can put a message in here, and when they jump online, the first thing they should do is check messages so they can see where you're at in the build process, and then they can go forward from there. So that's how you do this. That's all the steps all together, and it's crazy, isn't it? It's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. It will keep you very, very busy. And let me minimize this a little bit because I think there's a button that I'm missing. But anyway, when it's time to publish, and I'm not sure why it's showing up, but when it's time to publish, you'll actually see another button there that says publish. And you'll have to put your iPhone developer account in there, your username or password, and your Google Play developer account username and password. You do not have to publish to both. You can actually choose to publish to Android and not to Apple, or to Apple and not to Android. So it's actually pretty cool how it works. And you'll get your APK files, which I mentioned earlier. These are the files you're going to need so that when you publish, you have those APK files ready to put up on your developer account. So that is like everything except for the final publish button. Not sure why it's not showing up, but I'm sure once I get out of it and get back in, it will show up. But anyway, let me jump back into the webinar and stop screen sharing for just a minute. And okay, so now we should be just about done. Let me check and see what kind of questions I have. Woo. Yes, please, Icon Slayer. So is there a way to add different calculators? For example, a mortgage and also a calendar. What you can add is actually right there in the page, in the features, which are pages. And they have a lot of page options, and calculator is one of them. I think mortgage calculators in there too. And they also have a blank page that you can put source code in. This is actually really cool because if you've got some JavaScript or source code, you can actually put it in there and make your own page. It's kind of wonky sometimes, and it works and it doesn't work, so you have to play with it a little bit. But that custom source page, you can actually use that to do that kind of stuff. How often can you update your apps? Well, the updates cost money to update. You can update as many times as you want. What happens on your developer accounts is you'll do the first time you'll put your APK up there, and then if you make changes to the app, you want those changes to go live, you just get another build, you get another APK file. So you publish again, it creates new APK files, you take them up to your developer accounts on Apple and Android and Amazon and upload the new APK files, and the new changes are in effect. And then the next time the person opens their app, it'll automatically sync and get the new changes. How about a calendar? There is a calendar page. I think there's an Instagram page. I've got two builders that I use, so I get confused sometimes which builder has which feature. Found the calendar. Let's see. Can you have a Facebook open in the app? Yes, you can. That's one of the neat features is there is a Facebook page that you can pull in, and then you can map it to a certain person's Facebook page. So when they click it, that's what opens is that person's Facebook page or your Facebook group or your Facebook fan page or your personal profile or whatever. So yes, you can do that. Instead of the site, yes, Adam, I hope I answered that question, but absolutely, instead of opening Facebook as a site, you can have a Facebook page in there that opens to a very specific Facebook page. Icon Slayer, Brenny, if you want that, make sure you message me because I won't see these chat things afterwards. So just send me a message and say, hey, I want Icon Slayer, and I'll send you the link. Can you send a link in a push message? Yes, you can. Absolutely. This is seriously fun. Chrissy, you have no idea. It is actually really fun. Once you get started and you learn the ins and outs and little idiosyncrasies, because there are idiosyncrasies. There are things that you're like, oh man, this is going to work great. and then you check it out and it's like, okay, why is this not working great? So there are little things you have to figure out. But once you figure it out and you actually really play in it, it is super fun. And then all of a sudden you want to go to everybody and go, hey, I'll make you an app. Do you want an app? Oh, my dog needs an app. It's really, really fun. So yes, it is seriously fun. Yes, this is recorded. This webinar is going to be recorded, and there will be a replay, and you should automatically get an email that gives you the replay. If you don't, just message me and I'll send you the link so you can go to the replay. You can, and Nancy's right, you can update all you want. There's no charge for updating. You just rebuild those APKs and then re-upload them and you're good to go. Let's see. GIMP, great, John, that's wonderful. AdMob, wonderful. Thank you for putting those links in there. You are a gem. I think I'm going to keep you around, John. You're awesome. What price to charge for an app? That really depends on you. There are a bunch of application developer calculators out there. And Brenny, that's another one. If you want links to those, I've got those. Just send me a link that says, I need the application developer calculators. And what that means is you can go in and say, okay, if I do an iPhone app and I have 5 pages on there and it's not really complicated, I should charge this much for building that app. But if I have iOS and Android and I have 10 pages in there, I should charge this much for an app. Now, that dollar amount is really, really high. I mean, you're going to look at $5,000 to $10,000. But because of these template things, it makes it so much faster and so much easier. So when you make them, you can charge a lot less. And I personally charge from $200 for just like a really simple app to $1,000 for a more complicated app. But here's what you want to work for, in my opinion. This is the beauty of it, is not so much that first initial price, but what I call hosting. It's kind of the same thing as if you're building a website. If you build a website, you're going to charge your customer an initial price for building the app, and then you're going to charge them a monthly fee for hosting. And you may charge them monthly or quarterly or yearly, whatever you want to do. But typically what I charge is the front end for building it, and then at least $50 a month for hosting it. Now, depending on the complication of the app, you can go $100 to host it. Remember, you've got to recover that $99 for Apple every year and the $25 one-time fee. And you're going to have some headaches that come along with being a developer, like not getting an app approved in iPhone the first time around, and you're going to have to fight iPhone to get it approved. So you need to be compensated for that, and it doesn't always come on the front end. It may come on those monthly charges. And what you want to do is get a bunch of those monthly charges so that once you've built a certain number of apps and you've got those monthly charges coming in, you can kind of sit back and relax a little bit and not have to constantly go out and scramble to get business. So that's the key to this business, is those monthly residual income. All right, so BA says you can publish for $40. Where can I do it at? There are a couple of sites, Thomas, that will publish for you for $40, and they're easy to use. And I was actually just looking at one the other day. And Thomas, if you'll email me or message me, doesn't matter if you do it in Skype or Facebook or whatever, just message me and say, hey, can you send me a link that shows me where I can get someone to publish for me? I'll send you that link, because I've got some that do it, and then I've got some other resources of some that do it. You can do it yourself, especially Google Play. Oh my gosh, Google Play is like super easy. Apple is harder, because you have to have certificates that you have to make, and it's just a pain in the booty. But if you pay $40 to have someone do it, it is so totally worth it. And you want to put that in the cost to your customer, your business that you're building it for, so you recover those costs. Oh, great, you got it from BuilderAll. That's fantastic. For audio, you can connect to a server that hosts the audio files. Yes, you can. You just almost do like an embed. It's really easy. Apps are expensive to buy. Yes, Nancy, that's true. Ida says, connection problems. Can you let me know if this is available for review after? Ida, you should get a email that will give you a replay link, and you just click that replay link and it will give you a replay. I didn't see the car loan app. I'm not sure if there's a car loan app in there. I know there's a mortgage thing in there, and it will calculate, like, if you have a loan that's this much for this long at this percentage, this is what you'll pay. I don't think it's specifically a mortgage one, though. I know in my other app builder I have it, but I can't remember in this one if I do. Can you play with HTML? Yes, you can. On that customized source page, you can. And it does get fun as time goes on. John says, awesome, Shelly. Thank you. Brenny says, awesome. Thank you. Push notifications. Yes, you can do push notifications. They're actually really easy. And inside that area where I was looking at the top right-hand corner, there's a button that says push notifications. You just click that, and you can automatically send push notifications out. So what are push notifications? They're automated messages that go right out to everybody that uses the app. If they have not disabled push notifications for your app, then they will immediately get a message. And where this is valuable is, like, say you're a hair salon and you've decided that you're going to sell off all your old jewelry that you had in the store because you're making way for new jewelry. So you can actually do a push notification and say, today only from 3 to 5 p.m., we're having a sale on our jewelry. First come, first serve, 50% off or 80% off or whatever. And then you send that out, and every single person that has that app, whether it's open or not, if they have not disabled push notifications for that app, they will get that message. So that's really cool. The hardest part, Chrissy, is dealing with Apple. No doubt about it. All right, so let's see. I think I've answered everything. Oh, I got another one. What does the push notification, the customer end user, and how? Who does? You can do it, or you can give them access to your web builder through the user panel and show them how to go in and do the push notifications. It's up to you. You can decide if you want to give them access. Thomas says it's 2:30 a.m. in Germany. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death and put you to sleep, but I hope that it was great information for you guys. So Julie says, so once published, do customers need a BuilderAll account? No, they absolutely do not need a BuilderAll account. All they need to do is go to the Apple store, the iTunes store. They can go to the Google Play Store, or they can go to the Amazon App Store, wherever you published it. And they download the app just like they would any other app. They have no idea that you did it through a template and through BuilderAll. They have no clue, which is really cool. All right, so I have literally gone for an hour, and I hope I didn't bore you guys to death, but it was a really, really fast overview of this builder. Again, I want to invite you, if you don't have somebody that you are under already in BuilderAll, I would love for you to join me if possible. I don't want to steal you from anyone, so don't, if you're already under someone, don't leave them to come to me. But if you do need to come in under someone, I would love to have you. And it's real easy. It's just Shelly Turner /BuilderAll. So it's not hard to find at all. If I don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and close down for the night. We've got another webinar coming up tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to do the Facebook inbox answer feature. And that is like super cool. And it's a really neat way to use Facebook and Facebook Messenger to kind of prompt your users into paying attention to what you're offering them. And then Thursday, I'm going to do a really fast webinar on MailBoss, just to kind of show you how to get it set up and talk to you about email campaigns and how to do those. So even though there's still some issues with MailBoss, I want you to start learning how to use it now so that when they resolve all those issues, you'll be ready to go. All right, if there are any more questions, y'all, I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad that you're here, and hopefully I'll get to see you tomorrow night. And don't forget that there's going to be a replay of this. You should get the email. If you don't get the email, just message me and I will send you the link. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you again hopefully tomorrow night.